all situated. That's a little better lighting wise. Hey guys, thanks for joining me today. I'm a little bit early. Where are you guys coming from? Making bunny macarons. Wendy, good luck. Hello, Lorraine from San Diego. Yvonne, hello from Germany. Maria, hello. I'm glad you're here. Can you guys hear me okay? Thank you. Desserts and Beyond, thank you. I'm still getting used to it. If this was a production kitchen, I would have a hat on and try to pull it back. But because I'm just making macarons for my family, we're gonna keep it down today, which I don't usually do. I'm excited. It doesn't like pull back well. It all starts to fall out. I should probably have a hat or something, but we'll keep it down for today. Hello, you guys. From Greece, hello. Melanie, I'm so happy to hear that you like the ebook. Hello from Trinidad, Hazel. Hello, Steffi. Thank you. I did, Amy. I got it snapped. I cut it off last week. Vikash, hello from Virginia. Hello, Karen. All right, guys. Bismarck. Hello, Katie. Well, thank you, Amy. So, we are doing Italian method macarons. I'll move the camera so you guys can see when we get started. But there was a few things I wanted to say beforehand, just because it's not my normal. I can't like default to my Macaron 101 video like I always do. It's like, go check that out for all the details, right? But I'll kind of lay out some details on the tools we use that are different from the French method and go from there. I'm excited to try this out with you guys. I did it yesterday. Italian method, like I've said, is not my preferred method. No matter how experienced you are in one or the other, when you switch methods, it can be challenging. So, like, don't get down on yourself if you're like, oh, let me try the Swiss today. I want to see if I like it better, and it comes out horribly. You need to try a couple times in order to really see how a new method works for you, because it's gonna feel different. I'm gonna regret my choices, but I'm having a second cup of coffee today. This time change is really, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the darkness of waking up, but I am tired. Gabs, hello from Canada. So I preheated my oven, same temperature, 300 Fahrenheit. We are at 1 o'clock. Okay, so I'm gonna start now. Hi, Susanna from California. I'm so happy you're watching. Okay. Hi, Letitia. Leticia. There we go, not Letitia. Hi, Affy, nice to see you. I did a small batch of pistachio macaron. Yes, Hazel tried the drop whisk technique and it worked for her. This is amazing. I'm excited we're talking about that because I'm actually going to do that today with the Italian method. I always did these smaller batches of Italian method in my home because I'm, again, not producing for anybody but us, so they're usually smaller batches. And I never get a really great meringue. So I tried Seth's drop whisk method yesterday when I was doing the Italian method because we only have 50 grams of egg whites in here, and it worked so much better. It really got the sugar incorporated better, So I'm hoping that was the key, because we were doing a smaller, or because I have been doing smaller batches where it's usually 55 grams of egg whites in here, that it just wasn't whipping up well. So we're gonna try it again using the drop whisk method for this Italian method. Different tools that we use today, of course, is a thermometer. This is a ThermoPen. I think it's ThermoWorks. ThermoPen, ThermoWorks. It is awesome for meats, but it's also great for your confectionaries. It's just not gonna have a timer where you can just, like a probe that you can put in your sugar and let it sit, and then a timer that alerts you when you're at the temp. So that's the only bummer of the ThermoWorks. Hi Rachel. I have to kind of hold it in here when I see that it's starting to really bubble and I want to take the temp. So I have to hold it in. I've got a pot today because we're making the Italian method, which is where you cook the sugar on the stovetop and you're adding the cooked sugar into your meringue, and that's what makes an Italian meringue an Italian meringue. So we have this pot, which is not ideal. I would suggest, if you really want to delve into the Italian method and continue to do it, to get a stainless steel pot. I'm glad you're here, Lisa. A stainless steel pot is just so much better because, one, I like to use my thermometer to sort of like the probe to get in there and like make sure the sugar's not sticking to the bottom. But you're not supposed to have metal on this Teflon or whatever kind of non-stick surface it has. So if you have like a silicone whisk, you can use this in the beginning. Not once it starts to boil, but just like in the very beginning when you're trying to dissolve the sugar. Either way, a stainless steel is a better option. You can also see what's going on in your pot better. This dark is hard. It doesn't heat up as nicely. So stainless steel if you have it. I don't, but I do like these pour ones. An ideal pot for me would be a heavy duty stainless steel with a pour spout. So we can pour into our KitchenAid or stand mixer. Okay, those are the two different things. We're heating up our sugar and we're using a thermometer. I use Celsius. I'm gonna heat my syrup up to 119 Celsius. Not sure what that is in Fahrenheit. I could ask Alexa, but then everyone's Alexa goes off, so I'm just gonna say 119 Celsius and we can figure that out later. I like to put my water in first. I'm gonna measure again just to make sure nothing like dissolved. I measured this earlier. So let's get everything prepared. I've got my first amount of egg whites in here. Yes, I got my haircut, Cookie Nibs, thank you. This is 50 grams of egg whites. So that's my first addition. With the Italian method, you have two different additions of your egg whites. One is gonna go into your dries, and you're gonna make a paste out of this, and one is gonna go into your mixer. Something for the future, once I get more comfortable with the Italian method that we could try. Someone mentioned this on Instagram, of just using all the egg whites into your mixer and then just mixing, like making the Italian meringue, but then mixing as you would a French method. So making the Italian meringue, but then just folding in those dries. So that's something I'm very interested in trying. But for today, we're doing normal. Traditional method. I'm not using egg white powder or anything. So here we go. The recipe is from Road to Pastry blog. This is 38 grams of water. Again, I like to put the water in first just because it allows for a nice little padding for the sugar to just start dissolving, right? So if you put the sugar in first, you could, it's still gonna get soaked up by the water, but I just feel like it sticks to the bottom even more. So here's our sugar, and it's gonna be 113 grams. Try not to get that sugar on the sides of your bowls. A lot of people will say, my sugar syrup is crystallizing, which means you get little bits of sugar pieces in your sugar syrup. And that's because of a couple things. You could have a dirty pot. So before I started this, I actually wiped everything down with vinegar, even inside here, because you know, these are usually what I use for my beans or something to cook taco night. So I don't want any excess things that could ruin my sugar syrup. It's kind of like your egg whites. You want to treat it in a really clean surface, really clean pot. So I've cleaned everything from my bowl to my pot to my silicone mats with vinegar before doing this. Boom. So we had the 113, just making sure, grams of sugar. It's gonna go on my stovetop, and I'm gonna put it on low right now while I talk to you guys, just so the sugar can start dissolving, okay? And then we've got that second addition in here, and this is 50 grams of egg whites. And I'm gonna use that Seth's drop whisk method again for this. So we're going, when I start to mix it, it's gonna be not locked, but it helps that whisk get all the way down for this small amount. I've got my piping bag ready. And then I've got my other 50 grams of egg whites right here, and 125 grams of confectioner sugar and 125 grams of almond flour, already sifted. Now here's the cool thing, and they turned out good. Awesome, Fatima. Here's the cool thing about the Italian method. You can add color at every step because you can saturate your color in liquid every step of the way. You can put it into your meringue, you can put it into your sugar syrup, and you can put it into your paste. So I'm gonna put our coloring into the egg whites that is gonna go into our paste. I'm using the Sugar Art Emerald. Tomorrow's St. Patty's Day, right? So I going with the green again. Just a little bit. I don't like a ton of color, so I'm gonna just use a little tip. Again, this is gonna be really light. I'll do a tiny bit more. This is probably like 1/8 of a teaspoon. Oops, I dropped it. Fun. This is about 1/8 of a teaspoon of the powder. Little tip when you're cleaning up, if you spill a little bit of powder. Let me put you back, see if you can see it. Don't get that wet immediately. Try to pick it up with a dry towel first, and then get it wet later. Okay, I'll clean it later. Okay, so we've got our emerald green in this, which is gonna go into our paste. And I'll just use my little mixer. And so what I was saying is that for the Italian method, it's gonna look pretty dark when I'm making the paste, but then it's going to be lightened by this really white meringue from the Italian meringue. So it's not going to be this dark. It'll be a nice light green at the end. Okay, so just saturate your color into your egg whites. Again, you could put your color into all three if you're trying to get a really dark color, or you could put your color into your meringue or your sugar syrup. I'm putting it into my paste. Just know it will lighten a lot when you add your white meringue. Okay, so you just kind of, you can make a well or whatnot. Put your egg whites into your dries, and we're going to make a paste. Again, I said I am doing this the traditional way, but there have been lots of people that don't even make a paste anymore. They just throw everything into the mixer. It's quite amazing. I'm going traditional. You can either use a bowl scraper or a really nice hard spat. And then we're just gonna make this paste while our sugar syrup over here is still very much just melting. So I'm gonna make sure while this is not boiling, it's on extremely low so I can talk to you guys. I'm just going to move this sugar syrup around so I can make sure there's nothing getting stuck to the bottom of the pan, that all the sugar will get dissolved. If you need to, if you feel like you have some sugar crystals on the side of your bowl, then you can get a pastry brush and just wipe with a little bit of warm water on your pastry brush, wipe down the sides. Now I remember the last time I did this method, I think it was the last time, and it was just a poop show. So hopefully today goes better. That was when someone came to my front door. I had had a car for like 20 years, since high school, and we were donating it, and I forgot to sign the pink slip, so they had to come and knock on the door, and it was during like the height of COVID, and I forgot my mask. I was just so flustered. Whew, that was an ordeal. Let's have this one go better. Okay, so again, nice low. I'm gonna turn it on medium now that I kind of was able to make sure nothing stuck to the bottom. We're just gonna let it dissolve and do its thing. Once we're around 104 to 108 Celsius in here, I'll start whipping my egg whites on quick speed. What's that? High speed. Okay, so the paste really takes some arm muscle, but it will come together. Just kind of rub it in. Look at how pretty that is. That color is so pretty. Again, it's not going to be this dark. I'm trying to send a super chat. Oh, Cookie Nibs, don't even worry about it, lady. You're so sweet. I need to. Hi from Romania. Hi from Alberta, Fatima. Oh, hello. Okay. Thank you. Someone said they loved the hair. Lisa from Glendale. Yes, Amy would say that these stain so much. You know what my best friend is? Magic erasers. I'm serious. They clean everything. Like, they're amazing. Not gonna do it now, but magic erasers, friends. They will be your best friend if you're using powdered colors and you have a spill. Okay, so here's the paste. Right? You just want to make sure all those dries are incorporated and your color looks nice, not streaky or anything. Okay? When I was in one bakery that did Italian method macarons, they would do a whole bunch of batches at once, but they would cover each paste with plastic wrap so no moisture would escape as they waited for the sugar syrups to get to temp. I don't do that, but that's something you could try if you're doing huge batches and the sugar syrup takes a while to get up to temperature. Every once in a while, because my stovetop is not very evenly distributing the heat, I move my pot around just to make sure the sugar is dissolving everywhere around my pot and not stuck in any spots. Okay. This is a bowl scraper. Isn't that a pretty green? Thank you. So if you feel like you're getting some of the paste not incorporated, you can use a bowl scraper and kind of do that business. But this is good for me. I'm going to leave this to the side. Okay, so we're starting to bubble a bit. Okay, but I'm not going to touch anything at this point, or else things will start to slip. If you took a whisk Sorry, I have like some paste. A whisk in here, things would start to solidify and you'd have a mess. Hello, Heidi. I've also, like in my pastry school Italian method macaron recipe, there was glucose, which is an inverted sugar, which helps prevent crystallization. So you can always try that or find a recipe online. I don't give away any of my pastry school recipes because those are theirs. So I don't have, you know, the permission to give those recipes away. But this is from Road to Pastry. I cut in half their macaron, Italian macaron recipe. There we go. Couldn't think. Hi, Katie. I'm so glad you're catching the live. It's fun to see new names. I can't see your face, sadly. Okay, we're just letting this kind of start to boil. Now the biggest trick with Italian method is getting the sugar syrup to be at temperature when your egg whites are nice and white. You don't want to see any of that yellow from the egg whites anymore. So you just want to make sure you time it well. So if anything, I prefer to have my egg whites done and ready, and then I just put them on low. Put it on low while I wait for this to come, instead of trying to catch up with my egg whites when this is at temp. So I'm gonna start this, or let's temp it. Hi from Virginia. Oh, there's been Cookie Nibs, there's been so many fraud attempts on our accounts too. So we have, my sugar isn't dissolving like on the, down here. So it makes me a little nervous. Haven't been able to watch the pot as well while talking. We're at 106, 107, 108. So I'm gonna start this on high. Sorry, one sec, there's a little something in here. Okay. Let's go again. All the way up. And I'm really hoping this stuff starts to dissolve. It's not dissolving. Thank you guys so much. So, you guys are very generous. Thank you very much. I want you to be able to see better in the bowl, but I can't. I don't think I can get you guys in the bowl right now. So you can see this is all bubbling. And I want to get to 119. Save it. Thank you guys. I'm pretty happy. You can see I'm pretty happy with this amount of whisking. So I'm gonna just put this on low to keep it whisking until my sugar syrup is ready, okay? So let's get you guys, so you can kind of see in the sugar syrup. Can you see that? We're at 115. We're gonna put this all the way back to high as soon as we're ready to pour this in. This is when it's nice to have those like probes that you don't have to babysit this, and you can just set it and have it to come off like beep at 119. And don't do what I have done in the past where I like freak out. I'm like, oh, I see 119. Make sure it's pretty consistent throughout the whole pot. And then go for it. See how it's like jumps around? Okay, 119. Okay, we're good. Now I'm going up, high, and pouring it in. Down the side of the bowl, and slowly incorporate it. I like to just continue to pour it right down the side and have one little area that kind of builds up. Because with these, the way this artisan is, I'll talk in a second. Get all that sugar syrup out. Thank you so much. Okay, so I'm going to turn it down between a 6 and a 7 right now to let it cool down. So I'm between the 6 and the 8. Sorry, I said 6. So it's about a 7. And I'm just letting it whip up. And we want it to cool. And then we'll check out how our meringue is and we'll add it to our paste. Let me see what you guys have said. Sorry, this whip. Ooh, you have, so Julie, you've seen the Italian method with where you whip all of the egg whites together? I want to see this too. So let's just let that whip up. Yes, Italian meringue buttercream is so yummy. I went back up to an 8 just because it wasn't, because I'm impatient. That's really the truth. Okay. Katie, with the Italian method, I tried yesterday. They were not very cool. So I'm hoping I can do better today. I'm going to increase my oven temperature a little bit, but each method is so different with combating hollow macarons. And you know me, I'm not a big, I don't care too much about a gap, but mine were pretty significantly gapped yesterday. So definitely when you start a new type, you have to work out those kinks. So I'm going to try a higher temp today. Heidi, I really appreciate your support. I feel like you've supported me a lot, so I appreciate it. Hi, Julie from Orange County, New York. Julie, are you talking about putting the other half in here, this part? Or do you mean for a French method? Any advice on making macarons in humid environment? Anna, that's a great question. I'm curious, can you close off the breeze, the natural breeze from outside? Because I feel like if you close all windows, and if you don't have AC, getting a dehumidifier. I live in a humid environment. I turned on my dehumidifier today. Sorry about the noise, you guys. And it was 75% humid in here. And after just running it for about 30 minutes, it was down to 55% humidity, which is a good spot for making macarons. Yeah, Italian meringue is so beautiful. Oh, Steffi suggested a dehumidifier too. I love it. Okay. How I tell if my meringue is getting cooled without stopping it over and over, I will, can you see the bowl? I'll like rub the bottom of the bowl to see how we're doing. And once it's not hot, I'll check it. Oh, Randy, thank you for joining. Yeah, so let's check this out. It doesn't feel too hot. I'll talk again about, if you do the drop whisk method, just remember that that's what you did, so you have to hold this. So we're at, it's holding shape in the bowl in the middle. We've got, like, I don't want as stiff as a peak. This is what, the one thing I've learned when doing Italian method is that it's not going to be the same as my French method. So this is good. I really like the look of this. We're going to start to add it into our dries. Okay. You do not need as stiff of a peak with the Italian method. If you want to see if it's cooled, you can touch your little pinky, and that can, like, if it's about room temperature, it won't feel too warm or anything. Okay, so I do want to talk, will you guys remind me? I want to talk about the pouring of the meringue after we get this incorporated. And I'm gonna, why don't you want? So for me, with the Italian method, every time I've had a stiff peak, it has been lopsided city with my method. So, you know, it could be just, I've had way more luck when it's a little bit softer of a meringue, but that is my experience completely. You might have better luck with a stiff meringue, but for me, I've had to not mix on high. Once after the sugar syrup's in, I bring it down, and it's helped immensely with my reducing my lopsided. Adding cream of tartar is definitely never a bad thing. Here is our first a little addition. We're gonna sacrifice this and just sort of mix it in and not worry about deflating. Like, deflate it if you want. This is gonna be that first addition. It's kind of like the tempering in of two different, I know tempering is more for temperatures, but this is, I'm talking more about textures are so different that we're just kind of lightening up our paste, and then we'll be more careful with our second and third editions of our meringue. So really get that incorporated and lighten this paste up, and then we'll add our other bits. Now, when I was talking about the pouring in the sugar syrup, the artisan, the way that it is built, is really hard to get in between the whisk and the bowl, the side of the bowl. So just roll it down the side of the bowl, and then you'll just have a little bit of accumulation of sugar right here, if you can see with the lighting. So that's all. Instead of having it whip all the way around and getting it on your whisk, just sacrifice a tiny bit of your syrup and pour it down the side with this model, with this artisan model. Okay, so we lightened up our paste. Look at the color is already so much lighter. And now we're gonna add more meringue. And now we're gonna be a little bit more careful with our meringue as well. Okay, so we're gonna fold it in kindly and treat it nicely. Let me get this cleaned up. Okay. Hate when my spatula gets dirty. This paste is just so much stickier. Okay, so right now I'm just tumbling it in, lightening up this paste more, and not deflating it until it's about 80% incorporated. And this is a really nice, when you have different colors, you can really tell how incorporated it is, because the color is not one yet, you know? So it's a nice way to visualize how incorporated it is. So in that respect, I feel like coloring your batch really does help if you're dealing with a lot of lopsidedness. Trying to get this super clean so you guys can see the little bit of the... So if you can see right here, this is the sugar syrup, a tiny bit of sugar syrup. I wish you could see it better. So it's just a tiny bit of that. Instead of all over the bowl and making your bowl a yucky sugar mess, it really is worth it just to roll it down the side. Okay, last addition. And I'll get to you, I promise, I'll look at I'm really behind in what you guys are saying. So, I also filmed what I did yesterday, so I'm hoping to do an edited version of the Italian method. So it'll be nice and short if you guys want to watch something shorter. Okay, so now we're incorporated, right? Nice, solid color. I'm gonna deflate a little bit more. This is like, you get way more of an arm workout if you're a workout junkie. Switch to Italian. Isn't it pretty though? I still have some streaks of white, so I know I need to make sure that's not so streaky. Just to know that the paste is really incorporated well with my meringue and it's become one. In Trinidad, the relative humidity. Oh, ooh, good to know. So Swiss method has really been good in the humid environment. If the person that was asking earlier about humidity, if you have tried Swiss method, if you haven't tried it, definitely try that out. This is so beautiful. You can't beat the flow of Italian method. It's just so pretty. I'm gonna go a little bit more, but in the bowl, still holding a little shape. In about 5 to 10 seconds, I want it to meld on top of itself. Maybe 10, 15 seconds. Let's be realistic. So it's almost there. I'm just going to do a little bit more. See how much this color lightened though? Like it was this dark. Oh, you can't really see with the lighting. It was this dark, and now that made it such a nice, pretty green. Not that the dark was not pretty. I love a nice deep color. I just don't like adding that much color to get it. Okay. Because I was fairly hollow yesterday, I'm trying to make sure I don't undermix. You guys ready to see a nice flow? Isn't that so pretty how it ribbons? I'm good with this. Okay? In the road to pastry, they have really great visuals too. Right when I got out of pastry school and I was trying to do macarons at home, it was so different from than having all the state-of-the-art equipment in pastry school. So I was struggling so much with their recipe. So I went online and tried different. And the road to pastry was the one that just always worked. I've also really liked Zena from Majestical Macarons. She has a great recipe too. And she sells it online. If you check out, there's a link on her Instagram page, Majestical Macarons. Okay, ready for the flow into the piping bag? It's so pretty. I'm doing this at a weird angle to try to show you guys, so sorry. Alright, that didn't work as well. I'm going to try to get it all and overload my pastry bag. You can definitely split this into 2 bags if you have 12-inch bags like I do. But don't like to, I'm lazy, guys, and I don't want to do another dish or piping bag when I'm washing, so I'm putting it all in. It's going to be overcrowded a bit. These piping bags are so easy to clean, and yet I'm still choosing the hard way. Okay, so I have my big gas oven preheated at 300 Fahrenheit. And I'm gonna rest them for like 10 minutes before I put them in, okay? I've found that these flip-in air bake trays, they have this insulation. These have been the best thing to happen to my Italian method ever. You know, I tried so many different things, doubling up on my sheet trays, doing all these things. These have really helped limit the lopsidedness. I still get lopsided ones every once in a while. And especially with like a stiffer meringue, I just have a lot of lopsided macarons. So these have helped a lot. So let's pipe 90-degree angle. Let's see how they turn out today. The thing with Italian method is I'm not consistent with them. And I haven't been able to look at your guys' suggestions either. Oops, there was a piece of water. Dang it. You don't want water on your mat, you guys. So what I was saying is that, like, even if they're beautiful, in the rare chance that they come out nice, they're either not very full or there's like no bottoms. So let's see how a little bit higher temperature does today. What are your guys's, if you're doing Italian method, what are your biggest like troubleshooting issues? I'm gonna look in a second. Since need a Saturday evening live. Saturday evening lives would be amazing. I need to catch up. So yesterday I preheated at 300 and dropped to 285. Today I'm preheating at 300 and I'm going to drop my gas oven to 290. Let's do a little bit higher. Tap these out. There are a good amount of bubbles, so I'm going to just pop a couple that are bothering me. I can't wait to read your guys' chat. I'm getting impatient. Who enjoys popping these bubbles? Because this is like my nightmare. This is why I never do this, but I feel like there's a lot today. This is my nightmare. Take back my nightmares. Good one. Okay, we're good. These I'm gonna let rest for like 10 minutes. Then I'm gonna start preheating this guy at 300. And we'll pipe the second tray for that on our French steel pan. I promise you guys, I'm gonna catch up in a second. Okay. Ooh, Mocha Truffle Macarons. That sounds amazing. Because there's like a tiny little lip on this French steel pan, it makes things get lopsided on the edges. So I'm just gonna do this little corner here, this little rectangle. Okay, as soon as the oven is preheated, I'll put those in. I'm gonna pipe the rest of these out on this, just to finish off the batter. Got my back turned. Okay. Let's see if these need. This is a very heavy. Okay. Really annoyed with the bubbles. The bubbles are annoying. Okay. Definitely spreading more than yesterday. So whether or not that means they'll be less hollow because I worked more air out or not, I'm not sure. We'll see. Jury's still out. Or if they'll be lopsided, because my meringue was stiffer today. This is why I like to try new methods though. It's just like relearning the things I do love about it and I don't. Because that flow, the flow of the actual batter is just so gorgeous. It's really pretty. Taste wise, I feel like they taste pretty similarly. I think Italian's a little sweeter, but pair it with the right filling and it's gonna be delicious either way. Okay, as soon as that's preheated, these will go in. I'm gonna see what you guys are saying. Haven't been loving sprinkles lately, so I'm leaving them plain. Sorry. Sorry about the dishes too. I hate you seeing that. Okay. Bailey did the Italian method. Yes, Kyle, I feel like the soft, even sometimes when my meringue is soft and it barely has any structure, that's when they turn out the best. And I'm like, eek. But it's the stiffness of the meringue really has caused a lot of lopsided troubles with me. Okay, how long can you keep the batter? So Anna, macaron batter is not gonna stay for too long. Hey Camilla, I'm glad you're here. The French method meringue is going to be the shortest amount of time that you can have it. Some people do character max with it and they'll have it for an hour and it'll work fine. It really depends, but I feel like Italian is going to be your best bet to have it last longer, but I still wouldn't leave it in the bag longer than an hour. It just starts to break down. So, Celine, hi from Singapore. I'm so glad you're here, Camilla. Can you rest too long? Let's put these in. This will give us a foresight as to how well these will do. So, I am going to put these guys into the toaster oven. Okay, dropping it down to 275 again. And baking for 14 minutes. Yeah, 14. So here's my toaster oven. If you haven't seen a live before, it's an Oster toaster oven. I bake on the turbo convection and I preheat at 300 and then drop down to 275 for about 13 to 14 minutes. We'll see. I'll check on it. Hopefully I'll remember. I know we have a celebrity here. Camilla's here. We're trying Italian method, Camilla. We'll see how it works today. I don't know if the pastry gods will bless me with two days in a row of Italian method working, but we'll see. Okay. Let me go back up now because I missed a lot. Okay. You guys are so great with answering each other's questions. Hold flavor beautifully. Yeah, Swiss meringue buttercream is amazing. Swiss meringue, Italian meringue, very similar in taste. Both amazing to freeze, both amazing to flavor. So just make one huge batch of Swiss or Italian meringue buttercream, and then you can take it out, flavor it with your Amoretti or natural flavors, freeze-dried strawberries. There's so many things. I mean, French buttercream is really good too, to use up your yolks, but you're not able to use it for cottage food. Okay. So, like I was saying, we have a lot of talk about humidity. I use this dehumidifier. And we are at 48 in here, 48% humidity. And it collects all the excess water down here. And when I first turned it on, it was at 75% humidity in here. So it really does help. Run it for a few hours before you start. And if you don't have an air conditioning especially, it will help. It's a pricey unit. It's like $130. So, you know, if it's not in your wheelhouse, you could try some other thing. But if you don't have an air conditioning, it kind of does save you. Okay, let's check out these. I'm not really waiting for them to dry. I was just waiting for it to set a little bit. Still sticky. I was actually kind of waiting on these ones to see if they would crack or not. We can put them in. I did not wait until they dried yesterday. So let's go for it. I'm such a baby. I'm like going back and forth right now. What to do? What to do? Let's do it. I'm gonna put them into the gas. So I put it in and dropped my oven temp to 290 today. Yesterday I did 285 and they weren't lopsided, but they weren't very full. So we're gonna try this. And again, Katie, David, Amy, and Heidi, thank you guys so much for your donations to the channel. You so kind. I really appreciate you guys being here and chatting with me. Okay, I need to catch up still. Romania, we said hello. Have you tried, oh yeah, Julie, we were talking about the egg whites and if we had put them all in at once. Okay, so Julie, do you mean they whipped the other half of egg whites separately and did a half of the Italian method? I'm confused. Hold flavors wonderfully. Thanks for live here. That's what's been working for me, close the windows and doors. So again, I just want to reiterate what Steffi said because this is, I feel like a lot of people don't have air conditioning and this is an issue. So if you're in a humid environment, Steffi, I believe, lives in Puerto Rico. Is that true, Steffi? And she says that she has no AC, but it has helped to get a dehumidifier and having fans to cool the room while baking and closing all windows and doors. Very interesting. So you have the fans circulating the air and a dehumidifier sucking out the excess moisture. Okay. What macaron stand do you like that isn't crazy expensive? Wendy asked what macaron stand I like that's not crazy expensive. I feel like they're all so expensive and they're chintzy. I don't know how much those wood ones are for like those. I've seen these like wooden ones that look amazing. I forget who showed a trick of like putting ice in it too to keep the whole thing. Someone's got it. I think it was Barb. Was it Barb? Either way, they put like ice in the middle of the stand so it would keep your macarons fairly cold, which was, I thought was genius. But I have plastic ones and I have a couple linked on my Amazon, but they're about $55 and they're still really flimsy. But you kind of want them to be flimsy too because you want to be able to manipulate the macarons in it. I loved the ones from Michael's, but they stopped selling them. Michael's craft store had them and you could use like a 60% coupon and then get it for like $12, which was super reasonable relative to $50. Hopefully maybe they'll continue to sell. Keep looking at Michael's. Katie, she said that French method tends to work best for me. Katie, same with me. French method. Sorry, I'm just going through you guys's. Can you over whip Italian and Swiss meringues? I made a Swiss meringue this morning and it was too soft to hold. You could definitely over whip, Amy. I have never seen where you over whip so much that it's too soft to hold. Usually you'll start to see the separation of the liquid from the white. So like it'll leach out if you over whip it that much. It might have been that you had a little bit of fat in it, that it wasn't whipping up nicely. But you can definitely over whip. Like I said, when you whip with Italian, the stiffer the meringue, with the recipes I've used and my environment, I get more lopsided macarons. So in terms of over whipping, like to the point where it softens, I haven't seen that unless you actually see the liquid leach out of it. Yeah, Rachel, it definitely takes some time, no matter what method you're using. It takes time. She said that French, she's had better luck with. Italian, it seems to have more air in it. I feel like it's definitely this thing where you have to commit to one and then go for it, like go all in and really commit to conquering it. because, you know, I love my French, but I also do it a way more. So Italian method, I'm getting hollows as well. It's really about practice. And that's sometimes very frustrating. But you know what? Even with the hollower, like less full macarons, they're still so good. And you fill with more buttercream, and then it's like, who's really gonna complain about that? Okay. I feel like we have a ton of perfectionists in the baking community because the nature of the science of it and being really precise with recipes. But when it comes down to it, especially if you're doing this for a business, you can't throw out that much product if it's not perfect, right? If you go to Latteray or you go to any pastry shop, you're gonna see some cracked macarons, some lopsided macarons, because they need to be able to pay their food costs and their employees. And you know, like, Instagram has this perception of everything is perfect, but you're gonna have a couple lopsided macarons in your batch, and that's okay. And you can sell those still if you prefer. If you prefer not, you could try selling them for a cheaper, like, here's my here is my, like, macarons or something. I don't know. I'm not good with the marketing, but you could definitely sell even not perfect macs. I'll show you guys starting pastry school April 6th. That's exciting. What program, Katie? Here are our macarons. They're developing feet. We got them starting. When it's time to flip it and reverse it in our gas oven, I'll show you guys. I haven't peeked yet. I'll let you guys see for the first time with me. Okay. Cream of tartar. Katie asked if cream of tartar was necessary. I wouldn't say necessary, but I would definitely say it helps. Like, I haven't used it. I didn't even use egg white powder, but you could even use egg white powder if you want some more stability. Okay, one time I did. Have you tried? I'm so sorry. I'm so behind in your guys's. I feel like maybe I should just move on, but I don't want to miss anything. Have you ever? I already prefer French. Katie is. Oh, that's so cool. That's awesome. I'm excited for you. In regards to Katie's schooling, because my mind is going crazy. Let me bring it back. That's awesome. Celine, I do use a fan with my convection. It's convection, so it's circulating. I don't feel the fan, like I've never put my hand in there because it stops when you open the door, but there's circulation in there. My gas oven does not have circulation. Okay. If you can get a US brand of powdered sugar. Yes, Cookie Nibs makes a great point. US brand sugar is going to have a little cornstarch in the powdered sugar. Some other countries do not add cornstarch into their powdered sugar, and it's going to make it clump more. So a little confectioner sugar helps. And with moisture too. It helps it not retain the moisture from the air. Okay, you guys want to see if we got cracks or what down here? Wish me luck. Wish us luck. How about? Can you guys see? Nope, you guys can't see, huh? Darn it. Okay, we got little baby feet starting, no cracks. They look a little thin to me, like I over deflated, so we'll see. But no cracks thus far. Okay. I personally don't love super thin macarons. Like, I like them to bubble up. Okay. Camilla Love, I've seen that. I love it. Put half the raw eggs into the flour and confectioner's sugar and mix and the other peak. Yes, so Julie, that's what I did today. I put the egg whites into this paste, into the dries to make a paste, and then I whipped the other half. I don't usually do this, but I am trying the Italian method today. Could I get your unicorn template? Oops, this went off. I'm gonna put it for like a minute longer. Yes. Who asked for the unicorn template? Wendy, email me and I will email it to you. Oh wait, you know, I don't think I have a unicorn template. I just have it. Maybe you're not talking to me. I'm so behind that I'm overwhelmed, my friends. I just have a drawn out unicorn template, but I'm sure if you Google, or maybe Camilla has one, unicorn macaron template, another one will come up. You could email me though if you still want to, but I don't think I have one. But I love emails. Okay. I'm starting pastry school online. I love that. I'm excited. Wondering for your French recipe, how much gel coloring? Is it Renee? Renee Nia? For my French recipe, I mean, I'm a wuss when it comes to adding gel colors. I'm going to take out my maps first. We've got the definite ruffled look today with these. I'll let them cool a little bit and then we can look at them. One lopsided I see right here on the edge of the tray could be because of this little lip. If you can see that it goes up a little bit. So it could be airflow issue right there. Could be anything. No, I'm just joking. Okay, I forgot I have to not take forever, even though I just want to talk to you guys and catch up. Dainty feet, not small. Okay, let's see here. Yes, I like that. Dainty feet for my gas oven ones. Okay, I know it's, okay, thank you. I don't remember seeing you do that. Oh, Katie, so Katie said that she switched all the baking mats and methods, and I'm curious, does that mean for the French method? Is that what you're using? Pog, Heidi, got Pog Amoretti flavoring, and it's so good. I love that one. Feel like I still missed a lot of your guys' comments, but if you have something that I skipped by, just add it to the bottom, because now I'm what is that? I'm all in at the bottom. Yeah, I'll put the recipe in the description for sure for this one, especially because we don't usually do it. But it was, I can read it off too. 125 grams of both confectioner sugar and almond flour, and then 50 grams of egg whites divided into, so 2 portions of 50 grams of egg whites. So altogether it was 100 grams of egg whites. 50 went into my mixer, 50 went into the dries. And then 113 grams of sugar. I use just regular granulated sugar, especially when you're using when you're cooking it, because it doesn't really need to be extra fine like caster sugar. Okay. Yeah, which pans? Are you talking about the air bake trays? Can you make normal Italian meringue? That's, Randy, that's what I want to try. I want to try not separating the eggs. Just make the Italian meringue and add in the dries like you would French or Swiss. That's something on my list to do. It's like, why did they have to make this extra complicated and separate them? I don't know. I don't understand. Maybe I need to reread some of my pastry books and see if there's a reason for that. But maybe the Italian meringue, because it's a little bit stickier, doesn't incorporate the dries as well on its own. Guys, I really need to, I need to do some deep dive research. Flipping your pans over. Okay, so you're using aluminum pans, flipping them over. Les Petits Macarons. Ooh, good. That's awesome. Do you know the author? Was that one of the big Les Petits Macarons? Who was the chef for that one? Ooh, guava jam. Pies and tacos. That sounds amazing. Okay. I think it's just to help incorporate. Okay, 6 cakes and more. I wanna, is that a YouTube handle or is that an Instagram handle? Because I'd love to look into this. It's just funny that for all the other methods you don't need to worry about a paste, and then for the Italian you do. Like, ooh, Julie, I'm excited for you to try it. What 6 flavors did you get? I hear Pog is really good. I know Pog is really good. Grapefruit. This is something you might not like sing like yum to you, but grapefruit is so good. It was one of, and then mango was a really good top seller at my farmers markets. I personally thought it was a little bit of a fake taste, artificial taste. But customers loved the mango too. And then lychee is one of my favorites. The pistachio butter tastes great, especially when you pair it with some fresh pistachios to get that nice saltiness. Like, do some roasted salted pistachio crumble on it. Yum. It adds a little bit. And always, 3 to 5% as the bottle recommends for food. So weigh your whole amount of ganache or buttercream, whatever you're adding it to, and only add 3 to 5% is what the bottle says. I always go on the lower end and then wait a day, taste it. If it doesn't sing the flavor that I want it to sing, I'll add a little bit more. But it does take a couple hours to really get all the flavor soaked into the fat of the butter. So don't like right away try it and then be like, this isn't strong enough, and then you add more, because it can get a little dangerous, because any artificial flavoring that you add too much into is gonna taste not so good, right? But yeah, grapefruit, Pog, wild strawberry I hear is amazing. Haven't tried it. Camilla, you were saying watermelon's yummy, right? And cotton candy. List your favorite Amoretti flavors if you guys are interested. This is not an affiliate. I don't have any affiliation with them. If you even use, I have one code for pistachio butter, but I don't get commission off of it or anything. It's just a really nice way to efficiently and easily add flavor to your buttercreams, and saves a ton of time. So I just don't want you to think like I'm trying to sell you on these. When I first started my business, I was straight like so against using artificial flavorings, extracts, anything that wasn't real. And I wore myself down doing everything. There are times to use these conveniences and these flavors that can still taste amazing, and you're still giving your customers a wonderful product, but you're saving yourself a lot of time and money. Okay, pistachio, wild strawberry, lychee, lemonade. Ooh, I haven't tried the lemonade. Hazelnut praline would be good. Sorry, it's like a kid in a candy shop as I read your stuff. Okay, I'm gonna take out the second. Here we go, you guys. They're dainty feet, as Cookie Nib said. Let me show you guys. I think I can flip this camera actually. So, little feet, dainty feet. You can kind of see, maybe, a little bit straighter feet from my gas oven. The convection oven has more ruffled look. I do want to see, oops, I forgot to flip you guys back over. I do want to see how these look inside. Because I'm learning and I'm interested. Oops, I broke the whole thing. So I broke the top a little bit, but there's a gap if I hadn't broken it down. Let me try another one. Okay. So here is the cookie. There we go. Trying to not totally break it. Hey, they're better than yesterday. Is that clear or is it not clear? Looks like I'm ordering flavoring. Amy, if you order some flavoring, you can use Baked Jour Pistachio 10, only for the pistachio butter. If you're not into pistachio, don't even worry about it. But you could get 10% off of pistachio flavoring for a one-time thing. Yeah, thank you, Camilla. I just love seeing your name there, and I love when people say all the recipes they enjoy from you.